Alright, let's do this video completely for the second time because I didn't record the first time. I've been working on my shelves and I took a break and I finished reading Bitcoin Billionaires in the meantime, so I thought I'd talk about this. This was the book I had on my toilet. Figured I'd go ahead and burn through it because I had like 4 books I was reading at the same time. Need to finish Catch 22 also, and then I might start on like The Big Short, which is kind of what this book reminded me of. Ben Mezrich wrote it. I'm not sure what you would call this type of book because it's not really fiction, it's not really historical. It's kind of set in the recent past, but it's true stories, but there's dialogue, so I don't know if the dialogue is exactly like a non-fiction book or like a contemporary novel. I don't even know what you'd call it. But it's the story of the Winklevoss twins that after... They're the guys that, if you watch The Social Network, they're the guys that created Facebook in college, and Mark Zuckerberg kind of stole it. And they kind of made them out to be like jocks or dumb or something, but they weren't really. They were kind of like super smart guys. Even though they were like raised rich and they grew up rich and they had all these advantages and stuff, they were like Olympic rowers and they were like super in sync because they were twins. And after the Facebook thing, they saw this, somebody told them about Bitcoin and explained it to them. They got all hyped for it. And he ended up buying into it when it was like $10, $12 a coin, and they got like $1 million worth of it. They keep buying more and more. And then they were mainly proponents of making it, they saw it as being like the future of currency, a programmable currency like that needed to be regulated so the price would go up because people would take it seriously because everybody was using Silk Road, and the people that were into Bitcoin at the time were kind of like rebels and kind of libertarian, thinking it's going to be like taking the government out of the picture, making it its own currency that you don't have to pay taxes on and all this other kind of stuff. So they got involved with this guy named Charlie who started a company called BitInstant, and that was like a Bitcoin buying site, and he was like the CEO and the compliance guy and CFO or some other kind of position. Like, he didn't even take it seriously, and he just started partying all the time, and they didn't like that. They kept getting on his case about it, but he eventually got arrested and had to go to jail for 2 years for kind of some stupid charges. It wasn't really like, they were trying to blame him for the drug trafficking, which he didn't really do. It was other people, but he knew about it. But they shut Silk Road down, and that made the price go up, and then they rebought a bunch of it. And it's kind of interesting because they got this key. You have to generate your own key when you get your own Bitcoin wallet or whatever, right? It makes you wonder like how many people have Bitcoin wallets that have died, and maybe they left it in like a storage unit, or their family didn't know what it was and they just kind of threw it out, or millions of dollars could have been on there, who knows. But the Winklevoss twins, they used like dice to generate random letters or numbers, and then they took the code and they split it into 3 sections. Like the guy Charlie, he had like a ring with like most of the code on it, but he had like the last 5 memorized, so it was kind of like having your own pen. But they went a step further. They or several steps further. They split it into 3. They took those pieces of paper and they duplicated them 3 times. So you have 9 pieces of paper, 3 pieces of the code on each one. So you got 3 copies of the code. And they took each piece of paper to 9 different banks spread around 4 or 5 different states. So if somebody wanted to get their code, they would have to break into 3 different banks and steal it from their lockbox and stuff. And then they took all their old computers that they used to generate the code or whatever, and then they smashed them and they burned them. And they did all this crazy stuff because it was like such a huge investment. And this ended up being like, well, billionaires, because it's called Bitcoin Billionaires, but like they bought like $1 million at $10, so it was like 10 million or 100 million or something was being invested into it over time. Then there was also this guy, Ver. I think, yeah, Ver was the guy. He was kind of like a radical guy. He kept trying to, he wanted Bitcoin to be like revolutionary and anti-government. There was this guy, Voorhees. He made this thing that was like a gambling site that existed on the blockchain that You just put your Bitcoin, you send Bitcoin out to a web address, either be a winner or loser. It'd come back and you'd either like double your money or you'd lose your money. It seems real simple. But he made like $24 million off of that. And the Bitcoin itself, like if you don't know the story, it was invented by this Japanese guy named Satoshi. I think he was Japanese. That was his nickname or whatever. He invented it and he just disappeared. Nobody knew who he was, or if he's still around, or maybe he's a different name or a fake name. Or it's pretty cool. And they named a bunch of stuff after him. I think that, yeah, the gambling program is called Satoshi Dice. And then that guy Charlie, after he got out of jail for 2 years, I think he named a boat after Satoshi or something. And yeah, it kind of takes you from the journey of like the Winklevoss twins, meeting all these people, learning about it, investing in it, and they got subpoenaed to court over the Charlie deal because they thought they kind of blamed him for the drug trafficking, which he shouldn't have. And then it takes them through all these like exotic destinations where they're partying in Belize or somewhere, and like Burning Man is at the end, and like places in Greece, like super rich places that it's ridiculous. Like $20,000 table of food they mentioned in one place, and people would like spend 5 times that sitting there. And it's just weird. Yeah, I'd have to give it like a 4 out of 5, maybe. I don't know how you would rate a book like this, because that's for what it is, contemporary nonfiction or something like that. It's a pretty interesting book. I highly recommend you get it. It's pretty cheap. I got this one at a place called Ollie's. It's like an overstock place. I've been to like 3 Ollie's, 3 Goodwills, another 2 thrift shops, a Salvation Army. I went to one other place I thought was a Salvation Army, and it's closed down, but it was just like a bunch of homeless guys that turned outside. It was pretty trippy. Yeah, so I got this bookshelf. I'm probably going to take this one and move it over here and this one over there, because this one's got the crown molding on top. And if I have both of them with the molding, it's going to like not go together right. Plus, the desk is as far forward as it can go without the closet over here bumping into it, so I can't make any more room. So when I put them together, there's going to be a little nook that some books are going to be kind of behind the side of this bookshelf. So I'll probably switch them. They also got, this is supposed to be the brown. It looks pretty black to me, but you get them in black. I was thinking about doing like my horror books on the black one and have the fantasy on the wood, and then having like another color for the sci-fi, but like they have a white. That wouldn't really, it would clash with the brown and the black. Maybe I'll just get them all the same. I don't know. Pretty nice bookshelf, though. Screwing in the back part is like really time consuming. So that's pretty much that. I already told you about my drone situation. I've got this stack of books over here. You can can't really see over there because of the. Oh, there you go. Look at all these. That's like what I got to deal with. This place is a mess right now. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Or yeah, I already didn't. Yeah, I don't know what else you get. That's it for now.